Sometimes as families grow, it can be difficult to remain together and living all under the same roof harmoniously. Today we're about to visit an inspiring family who have built not one but two incredible tiny homes that have enabled them to stay wonderfully connected. Hi Anthea, how are you?
Well, thank you, Bryce. How are you?
Great, thank you very much. G'day Wayne, how are you, mate?
Well, thanks Bryce, great to meet you finally.
It is great to meet both of you and to see these two super cool tiny houses you've got here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now you're a family of four living in these two homes, aren't you?
That's right, yeah, Anthea and I and our two daughters. They were 15 and 17 when we first moved in 3 years ago, and yeah, now they're mature adults.
And so your daughters have their very own tiny house. That is very lucky, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And that's such a great idea as well, because so many people say, what do you do living in a tiny house with kids, and what do you do when they get older? And this is what you do. What a great idea.
We built two, and yeah, maybe one day when Anthea and I have had enough, they can take one each and go different directions and perhaps live their life without a mortgage.
And can you talk to me about what it was that inspired this journey in going tiny?
Yeah, we just decided as a family that we really wanted to reduce our environmental footprint. We wanted to live more sustainably, so we started talking about that, and we cut out buying new things for a year, which was a good start.
Did that first.
Then beyond that, we sort of looked at how we could change our approach to living. And I think Darienne had seen a couple of your videos, so she suggested that we have a look at this, and yeah, we all got excited and decided that we'd build our own.
And these tiny houses just look so good. And of course, Wayne, you're an architect, so you must have had so much fun playing with the design of these.
Yes, it was a great opportunity to experiment with some ideas, sort of been floating around in our heads for a few years, and the girls had a lot of input as well. We built them all together. Everybody was on the painting and knocking in nails, and Anthea's done a lot of the styling inside, so we all sort of claim bits of it ourselves, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to design.
I'd say something that we really got out of it was kind of leaning more into family life, which you'd argue in two different family homes, completely separated, that it would make us kind of hide away in our own. But this area out here, which we have by the fire, like any night we can in summer, we go and sit out there. Daz and I always chill out together. You'd think it separates you, but it's actually brought us together as well.
So these were actually DIY built?
Yes, yeah, we own and built them. We had a lot of help from Anthea's nephew as a carpenter, so yeah, he was pretty much on it for 8 months full time. We had obviously qualified trades for plumbers, electricians, but we sort of put it together ourselves, so that's fantastic.
No, the girls did so much, but they laid their own floors and painted their whole tiny house.
I mean, it was really cool, just kind of even when we get to show friends around, we can kind of be like, oh, like I did that part, or I laid the ground there, and it's just kind of really cool to know that we were all involved and, helped make it what it is and make it our home, and it is something that we can do, and we can build houses ourselves. Beautiful
Parking spot that you've got for the homes as well.
It is a beautiful farm, 160 acres, and friends moved down from Melbourne and bought this farm, and they needed some help on the farm, so we were happy to find a little corner to live in, and it's worked out really well. And
you've been here 3 years now, but you've decided not to put down any decks or pavers?
That's right, we wanted to be mobile. We thought part of our moving to tiny houses was so they could move around.
And the design here is just so unique. I can see you've used very different materials in the construction of these homes, and it's just given them such an edge.
Yeah, well, we wanted to sort of make some references to caravans. So we've got horizontal windows, but we also wanted them to be able to hide in paddocks like this, amongst other classic farm sheds. So the corrugated steel is where that fits in. And we've also thrown in some pressed metal just to add some texture.
Make them look a bit prettier, maybe.
I think it looks great. It's such a feature on there. And the metal is just so beautifully offset with the timber.
Yeah, that contrast is really nice, and again, natural materials. They cedar windows, just a beautiful quality timber. They're lightweight, they'll last a long time. We've got to do a little bit of maintenance on them every now and then, but they should weather really beautifully over time, as the metal will.
And really interesting shapes with this house as well, especially like what you've done with the circular bump out over the drawbar.
Yeah, that utilises that space that's often wasted. So we've put a shower in there, we've put a dome skylight on the top to let some light in, so it actually gives some light back into the house. So yeah, we're making all that space work as effectively as we can.
Excellent. And you're off the grid with these homes?
That's right. So we've got solar panels on the roof, batteries and inverter, battery controller all in one system. For 3 years we haven't run out of power yet, and we've had lots of grey days like today.
I was going to say, does it actually work here in Victoria? Because I don't think I've seen the sun since I've got here.
We ran out once, and that was on a 40-something degree day, and I ran the air conditioner for most of the day, and that night we had no power left. So it was the opposite.
Once the sun went down.
But that's the only time.
And you've included some really clever extra storage with this tiny house, haven't you?
Yeah, so we started the design really as somewhere to store our tools and toys. So we've got 4 mountain bikes that we store, surfboards up to 9'2". So that really
Very important.
Got the important things in there first, and we worked the design around those.
Very clever. And what size are the tiny houses?
They are 8.4 long, 2.4 wide, and they're 4.3 high, so road legal dimensions.
So both the tiny houses have the same footprint?
Correct, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the houses just look so great here. And first, I would love to see what you've done on the inside of yours. Can we take a look?
Sure. Check it out.
Thank you very much. Oh, now this is absolutely exquisite. What an incredible style this home has.
Thank you, Bryce.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we've had a bit of fun, tried a few experiments, and this is what we're left with.
It sure looks like it. There's so much texture and colour and vibrance going on in here. It's just so cool. I almost don't know where to look.
It's a bit like that.
Yeah, we love natural textures. We love textures and materials. We don't want to hide things away behind paint and plaster. We like to see how things are put together, how they're constructed.
That denim wall is very cool.
It is pretty cool. It's made out of about 50 pairs of recycled jeans. Some of it was from when we started to minimise.
So yeah, we cut them up and put them on some tiles that we'd cut out of a pinboard material that's made out of recycled plastic bottles. They provide a really good acoustic noise absorption. We've also used it as a pinboard when we were drawing.
In COVID, that whole wall had pictures. We did a drawing competition every night, the 4 of us. We love it.
And another really cool feature about this house, and I've never seen this done before, this polycarbonate wall is so neat. What a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great material. It's really lightweight. Each skin has a layer of air in between, so 2 layers on the outside plus the air layer where the stud is, provides really good quality of insulation, but as you can see it also gives fantastic natural light.
It's also a bit like an X-ray of the house, isn't it? Being able to see all of the framing.
It's great to be able to see the structure. It means that the carpenter has to keep his studs straight and his noggins all in a line, but with a little bit of extra thought and care taken, it can become a real feature as well.
And doing it on the south wall of the house also prevents that thermal build-up?
Yeah, so we get good quality diffuse light without having a lot of sunlight.
And over here, you've done something very unique with the window, haven't you? Can you tell me what's going on there?
Yeah, so that was another experiment. Yeah, obviously wanted to have a lot of sunlight coming into the houses at the right time of year, in that winter time when we want to really fill the living space with sunlight and warmth. But we didn't want to have an eave hanging out over the side of the house because that was obviously something that we'd either have to fold down or remove when we were being mobile. So we came up with the idea of integrating the sun shading within the glass. So we've got double glazed windows with a larger cavity than normal, and then that's 90mm sewer pipe that we've cut in 50mm sections and stacked them all up there so that sun shading becomes integrated within the window frame itself.
That is actual genius. What a clever idea that is. It adds a beautiful, obviously unique visual feature as well, but the way that that is just going to prevent thermal build-up in the summer, but then just allow this home to flood with light in the winter, actual genius. There's really cool feature lights in here as well. What on earth are they made from?
They're made by a local artist, made out of bull kelp off the beach around the coast. Forms them up, dries them out, and we're left with these beautiful natural lights.
It's kind of changed shape over the last 3 years, which we kind of like. It's evolving as a we.
Very cool. And behind you there, we've got your living area.
That's right, a raised platform. That's where we spend our evenings sitting watching TV on a really small screen. But it's also where the surfboards get stored underneath, so that was really one of our starting points for the design. Brilliant
idea. You can always count on a surfer to get their priorities in life right, can't you?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. It's important.
Absolutely. And your kitchen is over here. Nice, big stainless steel bench. And it's quite interesting the way that you've run the bench right the way into the lounge as well.
Yeah, the stainless steel bench is great. It's really hard wearing. We can't destroy it. It's good to have that extra prep area.
And you've got a table over here as well with an extendable leaf.
It's important for us to be able to get together as a family and have a meal. That extendable leaf allows us to get 2 people off the side, 1 at each end, and we can sit together and have a family meal.
We all have our spots, don't we?
We'll have our dedicated seats.
Lovely, I really like that. And the kitchen itself looks very functional as well. You've got lots of prep space, all the necessary appliances, and a good amount of storage built in.
Yeah, kitchens in tiny houses are pretty efficient. There's not a lot of room to spread around, but we've got everything we need, and we've designed things to be as lightweight as possible.
I'm not a big cook, and it's all I need. And yeah, probably 4 nights out of the 7 we all have dinner together and the kids get home. But it's perfect. And I love the stainless steel because it's so easy to clean and feels really luxurious as well.
Great. And there is something about the steel as well. It just sort of adds to this very eclectic mix of textures and materials that you've used in the construction of this home. Everything sort of is so different, but it all just melds together so beautifully.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's good to have that contrast, the softer, shinier surfaces with the textured timber around and the natural timbers. Stainless steel bounces the light around the space a bit more, and the colour, as does the pressed metal ceiling.
And everything's ageing quite well. So, it's been 3 years, but even with the darker walls and if there's scratches, we don't really notice, and that's kind of how we've designed it.
You've got a compact stair design for accessing the loft as well.
It's just a simple ply set of steps that leads up to a landing, and then we can step up there from the landing to the bed.
Very nice. And a fantastic loft design as well.
Yeah, we wanted to get multiple functions out of that space. So it's a bedroom, there's additional storage up there. We've also got the desk that we can sit up there and hang our feet over the edge, which also helps to stop us from falling over the edge. So that's practical, and we've incorporated the polycarbonate into that again to keep the weight down. So yeah, if you're not going to sit up there all day and work, and I've got an office to do that, but for up there for half an hour, do some emails. It works pretty well.
The style up there is just so cozy as well. It just looks like such a nice little nook to crawl into to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I think sleeping in the lofts is just naturally really cozy, isn't it?
It's warm. And,
It's a very enjoyable experience going to bed, feeling like all snuggly and safe.
Yeah, cocooned.
Yeah. And then your bathroom is through there.
Yes, would you like to have a look?
Let's have a look. Again, this is just very stylish. I really like the way you've used the curtains in here. It just adds so much texture and vibrance to the room.
Yeah, thanks. We had those curtains. We had them for years.
It's a great way to store all our clothes. It's actually really handy having your clothes in next to your shower and in your bathroom. You can get changed pretty quick. We've got some other recycled components in here with the vanity unit that we salvaged from an op shop, and the joiner tied them all together. So it works really well.
And behind you is the shower?
That's right, it's the pop-out that we could see from outside. It's a really nice, comfortable space. It has a dome on the top that lets natural light in so we can have a shower and watch the moon across the sky. It works really well. So we've incorporated the copper tapware that we have throughout the house just to express those functional elements, and copper is such a beautiful natural material, and we'll watch that age over the time. Yeah.
Copper really is just such a gorgeous material, and I think it is one of those few things that has that character of just developing more and more beauty over time, eh?
Yeah, it'll eventually get that beautiful green patina that copper gets, and it looks more beautiful as it gets older, just like us.
Absolutely. Composting toilet there as well?
Yes, yep, full composting toilet with a separator. So we divert the urine from the solids, compost the solids, and the urine gets watered down and spread around the paddocks.
Great job. Nicely done. And should we go have a look at the other house now?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Again, this is such a beautifully styled home, and I can see that it's got a very different layout in this one.
That's right, we've got the 2 lofts. Obviously the 2 girls have their own separate bedroom. Kitchen wraps around the end here with a fridge in the corner. Bathroom's still pretty much the same as the other one. We've got the net connecting the 2 lofts, which is the literal hangout space in the middle.
The net especially is just such a fun feature, isn't it? And I like the way that you have got the dual lofts, and they've both got privacy curtains as well, which of course for young adults is pretty important, isn't it?
Yeah, look, they don't really do much, but the girls are so used to each other, they love each other, they're very close. So a lot of their friends are the same friends.
So they've got some visual privacy,
yeah.
Not a lot of noise separation, but they make it work, and they really love living here.
So you've been living here now as a family for about 3 years. How's it all working out for you?
It has its challenges. The last 6 months of really wet weather has made things pretty swampy outside, but it's just a beautiful farm. And we're a close family. We've probably got closer since we've been living this way. We have a mantra across the household, and that's adapt and overcome. I've learnt that it's okay to experiment, get things wrong, redo things, get them wrong again. From a design perspective, it's fun, it's what I do. But to be able to do it on this small scale on myself means that I'm not getting my clients annoyed at me, and I can work up design ideas and resolve them in a way that I can then take to my practice and apply those at a bigger scale.
And I think it's kind of stripped me back to who I was meant to be. Maybe I was on a path that maybe wasn't the true essence of me, and I feel like living here, and particularly on a farm, and dealing with what I have to deal with daily, the hard things but also the great things, I think it's really who I am, and it sits better with me living this way, especially in the tiny house, than it does in our old house. Like, I just feel like a better version of myself living this way.
And this is such a cool project that you've done here. There's so much creativity, a lot of DIY, a lot of experimentation, and you've got the two houses here as well. Can we talk about the cost that was involved in bringing all of this to life?
Sure. The overall cost for each was about $100,000, and solar was another 15 or so on top of that. We did a lot of work ourselves, so we saved a lot on the labour there, but it kind of added up in the end, and we're kind of happy with what we've achieved for what we've paid.
Absolutely. This is a beautiful result. And now you've been living in the homes for 3 years, but what does the future hold for you both now?
Well, Darienne's about to trip around the country in a van, so she's going to experience a van life. So she's gone tiny, and now she's going to go tinier. So that'll leave Remony, who's going back to uni next year. So she's studying psychology. Anthea and I will still be in the house next door, and we don't really plan to move anywhere, but who knows what'll happen.
And judging by these homes, unquestionably you are a very talented architect. But is life as a farmer starting to look a bit more appealing?
For me, it is.
I think the days when it's raining all day, I'm pretty happy to go to the office.
Fair enough too. Well, you really have done the most amazing job with these homes. I love what it's done to help bring your family together. I think this is such a unique and wonderful living situation. You have designed two incredibly clever tiny homes that are packed full of features that I have never seen before. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Bryce.
The pleasure is all mine. These tiny houses are unquestionably brilliant and beautiful. Gorgeous materials, really interesting design features that make them work wonderfully as homes. But a home is so much more than just what it's made from. Ultimately, what truly makes a home more often than not is the people that live inside it. And that is the most wonderful thing about this story, how these two tiny houses have enabled a family to remain so beautifully connected. And ultimately, there is no greater gift than that.